Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
I want to point out my adopted nephew, Alex Stone.
He's the host of the Alex Stone Show, and I'm pretty sure he's related to my good friend Roger Stone. That's his uncle, Alex Stone. First time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Alex Stone Show. I'm your host, Alex Stone. I'm on a mission to spread the light of the gospel into every aspect of life. Yes, you heard me correctly. I did say every, including the things that most Christians do not like to discuss, such as politics. We are here at Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida, and this is one of the greatest events that you're ever going to find. We've had many special guests, but I think that this is the most special guest of this event that I've had on my show. He is my faux uncle. He is an author. He is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, political strategist of all time, Roger Stone. Roger, how are you today?
Alex, it's great to be with you. You folks thought this was a political podcast. Actually, it's an ad for seersucker, as you can see.
Absolutely. I got, this is my first seersucker. I got
That's
it about a week ago. Had to get it for this event.
Great looking tie, too.
Thank you. Well, you sent me it. So, there's a lot going on, of course, in the political realm. A lot is coming out, with the Jeffrey Epstein nonsense,
Yes.
Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino.
Yes.
You exposed Jeffrey Epstein in your book, The Clintons' War on Women, in Chapter 7, Orgy Island. I want to hear about your perspective on the Jeffrey Epstein issue and the fact that Steve Bannon was, of course, involved with Jeffrey Epstein himself.
Yes. I mean, I was happy to see Steve Bannon call for a special prosecutor to look into Epstein. That way, the special prosecutor can investigate what Steve was doing when he visited Epstein after Epstein was convicted of a sex crime in Florida, visiting Epstein in New York, visiting him in Paris. Did Steve go to the island? We don't know. I'm not sure how anyone would justify visiting or spending time with a convicted sexual predator. So I'd like answers about that. I have some history here, as you know. Steve Bannon testified before the House Intelligence Committee, as I did. He was specifically asked, did you ever discuss WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, or these allegedly stolen emails with Roger Stone? He said, no, never. Adam Schiff followed up. On no occasion? Bannon said no, never, on no occasion. But then, Alex, I was shocked when I went to trial after being framed in the Russian collusion hoax when Robert Mueller's secret witness turned out to be Steve Bannon, who was asked the exact same question. Did you talk to Roger Stone about WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, or these allegedly stolen emails? And he said, oh, yes, I spoke to Stone about it in every phone conversation we had in 2016. So he perjured himself in one place or the other. And since I've taken 2 lie detector tests on the simple question, did you ever talk to Steve Bannon, and passed both of them, I think we both know he lied on the stand at my trial. And he's never been able to explain this. He tries to pretend it didn't happen. So this is the same Steve Bannon who said the Trump organization was a criminal enterprise, who said that Donald Trump Jr. was a Russian spy. I mean, we've heard all of this before. So I do think the problem here is not Kash Patel. The problem here is not Don Bongino. But from Pam Bondi, we've had no investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 vaccination. We've had no investigation into Chinese interference in the 2020 election, although we now know that they shipped thousands of fake driver's licenses into the United States to be used as ID on Election Day. And we still don't have a full accounting of what happened with Epstein. So here's the solution. President Trump should direct Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, to direct the interim U.S. Attorney in New York to go into federal court and ask that the grand jury testimony, which resulted in Jeffrey Epstein being charged with child sex trafficking and conspiracy to commit child sex trafficking in 2019 by the Trump Justice Department. Those grand jury records should be unsealed. They can't argue that they're harmful to Epstein because he's dead. At least we think he is. And we should also, while we're at it, we should unseal those search warrants. That will tell you who his conspirators were. That will tell you what his crimes were. Why that hasn't been done yesterday, I don't know. If Pam Bondi's not prepared to do that, then she should step aside.
I certainly agree that she should step aside if she is not prepared to do so. And it seems as of now that she isn't prepared to do so. If she does step aside or President Trump does fire her, who would you recommend to President Trump should be the next Attorney
I
General?
thought of that. You know who I would go to? I would go to former Congressman Bob Barr of Georgia.
Okay.
Not Bill Barr, Bob Barr.
Okay.
Former U.S. attorney, former CIA lawyer, known for his integrity, former member of the Congress from Georgia. He'd be an excellent attorney general. That's where I would go.
Perfect. And may I ask why?
I think he has the capability. The other name that comes to mind is David Schoen, but in all fairness, Schoen has been a criminal defense lawyer. He represented Donald Trump. He represented Steve Bannon. He represented me. And he was going to represent Jeffrey Epstein because in America, everybody, even the most heinous criminal, is entitled to a criminal defense. So I think those associations may eliminate him. If you were talking about sure brain power, sure ability, sure deep understanding of the law, particularly criminal law, he's probably the most brilliant lawyer in the country. I doubt that he would be selected because those other representations might be seen as a conflict of interest. But then John Kennedy appointed his brother. What could be a greater conflict of interest than that?
As far as Steve Bannon is concerned, we know that he helped train Epstein for 60 Minutes and recommended to Epstein to hold the line and say, I'm not a pedophile,
Right.
which is disgusting.
Right.
We know that Steve Bannon has at least 15 hours of video footage interview with Jeffrey Epstein. Why doesn't Steve Bannon release that?
Well, I think just as he would like people to forget about the fact that he stabbed me in the back, we were both supposed to be MAGA. People say, why are you upset with him? Well, he tried to send me to jail for 7 to 9 years on the basis of fake testimony. So I think he'd like people to forget the fact that he was sucking up to Epstein. He was visiting him in New York and Paris. This was after he had already been convicted in Florida for sex crimes. I think he would like us to forget all of that, but we're not going to forget it because it's all on the public record. It's amazing how many people don't know about it.
I tell anybody and everybody at any point in time, if I can, about the truth about Steve Bannon. I was actually about 5 or 10 feet away from him just yesterday, and his team came up to me and escorted me away from him, and they said, Steve Bannon doesn't want you anywhere near him, which I find to be interesting.
10 to 15 feet away from him, let me ask you a question. Could you smell him from there?
Probably.
Because he has a personal hygiene issue that is really offensive and disgusting.
Needs a haircut, needs to shave.
Needs to shave, needs to bathe.
See, I've
the food
learned
in his,
all of the good things from you, and he should
the
learn.
food in his teeth is particularly disgusting.
It is very disgusting. Now, with President Trump, we are in the golden age of America. You've said that, I've said that, many other people have said that. We have 3.5 years left of President Trump. What do you expect to see from President Trump going forward?
I think that there's been, obviously, the media loves the Epstein story because it helps distract from the fact that we've sealed the border.
Yes.
We have a strong dollar. We have low inflation. We have low unemployment. We're bringing in record tariff revenues. We're expanding affordable housing. I mean, he's on a roll. Everything they said was impossible, he's of course doing.
Absolutely.
Even in Iran, where I had some questions early on, we're not in a George W. Bush style endless war that never had any real legitimate purpose to begin with. He ended going for surgical strikes, taking out the nuclear capability of the Iranians, and then withdrawing. No boots on the ground, no long-term commitments, no loss of American lives. So we're back to peace through strength as a guiding principle. Those are the principles of Eisenhower, the principles of Reagan, the principles of Nixon, as opposed to the endless foreign wars that the Bushes and the Cheneys got us into.
Absolutely. And we have the Bush crime family right in front of us on the desk. One final question for you before we end. Tell my audience what you would say to all of the people that assume or insist that you and General Flynn did January 6th, because it's stupid.
This is incredibly insane. Here's what I think is the genesis of this. I said quite publicly that if for some reason President Trump decided not to run again, or for some legal reason he could not run again, that I thought General Michael Flynn was preferable to Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, and that he, like Eisenhower, should allow us to draft him for president. Yes, I said that. He would have been my second choice after Donald Trump. I never said, we need to bump Donald Trump out of the way, General, so you can run for president. Mike Flynn was never interested in running for president, but he would have answered the call of duty to his country if citizens like you and I had tried to draft him.
Sure.
I never met General Flynn until January 6th. We had a relationship that was based on text messages and phone calls. He is one of the greatest patriots, one of the finest Christian gentlemen I've ever met. Yes. He's a big picture geopolitical thinker. He's a truly great man. He could have been a great president, but he and I were both committed to Donald Trump from the beginning.
Absolutely.
And this idea that we planned January 6th that is a mental illness.
Yes.
There's a small handful of people on the internet who continue to promulgate that. The other one's my favorite. Roger Stone was seen on Epstein's island. We know it was him because we saw the Nixon tattoo on his back and he was wearing a bull mask. My answer to that is really simple. Say that, put your name and address on it so my lawyers can serve you, because I will sue you in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
That's defamatory, it's malicious, it's false, and anybody who wants to say it, attribute it. Oh, I read it on 4chan. That's not
a credible source.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Absolutely.
But the people who say it always say it anonymously. So if you're gonna sling crap, have the courage to put your name there so my lawyers can find you.
Absolutely. Roger, I've been getting a lot of comments saying that I should get a Nixon tattoo because you have a Nixon tattoo. Would you recommend that, or should I get a Roger Stone tattoo for the Stone Rolling Stones?
I think you should get a Trump tattoo.
Okay.
Because he has staged the greatest single comeback in American political history, and he is almost single-handedly going to save this country. I think you should get a Trump tattoo. But I also think it's time to add Donald Trump to Mount Rushmore.
I agree.
So if you go to onemoreforrushmore.com, spell it out, onemoreforrushmore.com, sign the petition supporting the legislation by Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna to add President Trump to the Mount Rushmore Memorial Monument.
Wonderful. Roger, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the impact you've had on my life and this country. Guys, if you go to mypillow.com and use the promo code STONE, you can help Roger Stone out. He is still dealing with all of the financial nonsense that he went through under the first administration because of lies and corruption. So go help him out, and then also go and find this book, The Clintons' War on Women, at stonezone.com. Thank you all so much for listening. God bless you all, and goodbye.
Thank you.